Does your trailer have a bed that's tucked against the walls and you can't figure out how you're supposed to make it? Well, I'm going to share with you some tips on how we make our bed in our Tab 400 in this episode of Travels with Delaney. Welcome back, everyone. So if you have a trailer that has a bed where you can actually walk around three sides, then making it's not that hard. But if you're like us and you have a small trailer where your bed is surrounded by three of the four sides, making it is a little more difficult. And it seems like it's a great discussion on what is the simple way to make the bed. First off, let me tell you, as far as I'm concerned, there is no simple way, and making your bed is never going to be a pretty experience. But what I have found is I've got a kind of a process that I use that seems to be a little bit easier when it comes time to make the bed. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you how I do that. Now, the bed's already made in here, so the first thing I need to do is I need to get this bed unmade. Good grief, I can't believe I'm going to tear this thing apart, but I'm doing it for you so you can see how I make it. So let's go ahead and get it tore apart. All right, the bed is stripped just like if we were getting ready to make it. Now, one of the things I would recommend is finding what sheets are going to fit best on your particular bed. What we found, even though this is a almost queen size bed, and what I mean by almost is in the tab, lengthwise it's basically a residential queen. Widthwise it's a couple inches shorter. But we have found that deep pocketed full size sheets actually work best. We found this by accident because we had bought a comforter, and the particular comforter we bought came with a set of full size sheets, and I thought they'll never work. Well, lo and behold, they actually fit. Now, they weren't deep pocketed, so they were really tight, and we knew once we washed them, because they were cheap sheets, they were going to shrink up. So we went out and found a really nice set of deep pocketed full-size sheets, and these work perfect. They really work nice because they're good and tight, and they hold it on really good, and that top sheet isn't quite so wide, so you don't have all that hanging over that you're trying to tuck in, that type of thing. So you may want to experiment with that. Make sure you save your receipt. That way, if the full-size sheets don't work on your bed, you can return them and get the actual queen sheets. All right, so the way I like to work this is I like to work the farthest points first and work my way out. Now, I think there's a natural tendency, if you do start in the back, to come from left to right and then go down. The problem is if you do that, then you're actually have sheet that, and oh yeah, you know, it's a mess, because you only way you can do this is you got to crawl in here. So let's go ahead and start in the back. So first thing I'm going to do, because a lot of times it seems like it's really warm when we're making these in the summer, I like to figure out where the sheet top is. And so I always find, like in this case, I know the tag is going to be at either the top or the bottom, and then I find the corners, and usually you can find those by finding the seam, and that way when I crawl back here I know exactly what needs to go where. So let's go ahead. I'm going to crawl back here, and what I basically do is stick my hand in on the outside to find that corner, so that when I get back here I can just kind of tuck and roll it up under. The other thing I'll do is, because these mattresses typically are thin, you can actually kind of pull that corner up and tuck it under. Pull up, tuck, get it on there good. And now we have the start. We have one corner in place. Now I'm going to go to the other end of this back wall, and again, I'm going to find that corner, kind of stick my hand on the outside, get up under here, pull that corner up, tuck, and then I'm just going to start pulling that sheet and rolling it under all the way along the side. There. Now I have the back of the sheet on. Now I can work my way out. So I'm going to go ahead and come down to this front corner. Again, find that corner. Kind of pull the mattress out a little bit so that you can get it up and under. And then set the mattress back down. And finally, I'm going to do this top one, same way. There, that's not so bad, right? Okay, we have our fitted sheet on. Now it's time to go ahead and start working on the top sheet. Okay, now it's time to do the top sheet. The bottom sheet's fairly easy because we know we have the four corners and we know exactly where it goes. Top sheet's a little more tricky, mainly because we're going to have hangover on both sides and we've got to try to figure out where we want it. So what I like to do is start by taking my top sheet, which is not a fitted sheet, and I like to fold it in half lengthwise. That way, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to work from the middle to the outside wall, and once I figure out where I want it and I get it tucked in on that side, then I'm going to work my way back out. That way I'm not actually standing on or trying to sit on the entire sheet while trying to get it lined up. So again, first part of this is really just to try to get this thing folded in half lengthwise. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up top again, because I know how high up I want this sheet in the top. And so I just kind of come up here, get it laid out, and that's going to get me my length. And then I'm going to pull the excess all the way to the bottom, like that. Now, if I were to leave it right there, then Patty's going to have a lot of excess sheet, and I may end up getting cold on a chilly night. So once you have it right there, what I typically like to do is then go ahead and compensate by pulling a little bit extra over so that I have some hangover. Okay. This is not an exact science by any stretch of the imagination. Then I'm going to go ahead and the upper half of the sheet that's folded, I'm going to go ahead and kind of pull that back to center, leaving the bottom portion. Okay. And as I do that, I'm going to go ahead and just tuck that under so that I can hold that bottom portion in place. Now, you may not like your sheet tucked in tight when you go to bed at night. That's okay. Tuck it in for now. When it's time to go to bed, you can go ahead and pull it back out. But what it's going to do is it's going to help us hold it in place as we finish making this bed. Okay, we get to the bottom. Now we're going to do the old pull up the mattress technique. Just kind of roll it if you can, and then stick it back down with the sheet under. Now we can go ahead and pull the sheet all the way over. And if we did this right, you should have some left over on this side. You can kind of just start tucking it under. And then I'm going to come right up to this front corner. Okay. Pull the mattress up just slightly so I can tuck the bottom all the way in. So we don't like our sheet coming out at night. And then we're just going to put that mattress right back down. There we go. Voila. We have a bottom sheet and a top sheet. Now it's onto the comforter. Let me grab that. I like to do the same thing with the comforter. I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half lengthwise. And let's start at the top so we get it where we want it. And get it pulled. Get this folded. Pulled down. Again, we're going to want to pull the top part back a little bit so we have some room to work. And now I'm going to shift it over just a little bit so that I have some on my side. I'm going to start tucking. And pull up that mattress one final time. Kind of tuck in down here. Now let's pull the rest of it out. And again, looks like we have plenty for Patty or whoever is going to be on the outside in your trailer. Tuck it in. And finally, the bottom corner, mattress up. Let's get her tucked in good. And mattress back down. And then I'm just going to tuck on the side so we have a neat look until we tear it apart to go to bed. Now we're down to actually the easy part. Let's throw the pillows back on. there you go. Bed is made. So it wasn't pretty watching me make it, but actually it's a fairly simple process when you follow these steps. I hope that helps you if you have one of these harder than normal beds to make. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below in the comment section, either on Facebook or YouTube, depending on where you're watching this video. We appreciate all of your support. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please make sure you click that subscribe button, and don't forget to click the little bell beside of it, because that way you'll get notifications every time we put out a new video. We put out a new video at least once a week, always on Mondays, and sometimes we put one out later in the week. So until next time, everybody, we'll see you on down the road. Good night. I think I'll take a nap. This making bed is hard.